Hello everyone, welcome back into another video. First of all, happy Halloween everyone. I hope you are having all the good candies and not the bad ones because yeah, we don't like those. Anyways, for today's spooky video, we're having a look at Nekros Prime because well, he is he's on theme with the current date, so yeah, Nekros Prime it is. He has the power to terrify enemies, desecrate them to gain additional loot, and he can even summon the Shadows of the Dead as allies in any mission. But that's enough introductions for now, so let's jump into the build. Starting from Nekros abilities. His passive restores 5 health for every enemy within 10 meters. This has no cap and it's a great passive healing. His first ability is called Soul Punch. Whenever you hit an enemy with this ability, it will make that enemy ragdoll and they will also be marked for harvest. If you kill an enemy affected by harvest, it will become one of the Shadows of the Dead for Nekros after being killed. Soul Punch also has an interesting passive. If an enemy is below 25% HP, it will be instantly killed by Soul Punch and become one of the Shadows. This ability has infinite punch through, so if there are like 100 enemies in a straight line, it can hit all of them, so that's pretty good. His second ability is called Terrify. When you cast ability, enemies in range will run away from you. They won't attack you anymore, they will just focus on running away. Additionally, the ability also removes armor from enemies, so it's a great armor ship, but it also has an enemy cap, so you may have to recast ability multiple times. Then we have his third ability called Desecrate. This ability costs energy to activate and then costs additional energy per enemy affected by the ability. And whenever the effect is activated with a 54% chance, you gain some additional loot from the loot table of that specific enemy. Desecrate also works in a very specific way. The more body parts that are on the ground, the more chances you have for Desecrate to activate. So it's better to bring any kind of slash weapon. That way, whenever you kill an enemy, the body will split in multiple parts and all those parts have a chance to be desecrated. And finally, we have his fourth ability called Shadows of the Dead. The ability becomes available after you start killing enemies. It will summon those specific enemies you have killed, prioritizing higher tier enemies. So for example, if you kill a lot of heavy gunners and some butchers, it will prioritize heavy gunners because they are higher ranking units. The shadows will deal more damage, have more HP and more shields depending on your patient. They will lose HP every second and you can change that by increasing your mod duration. And the cap is 7 enemies, but if you have killed any enemy that can summon more units, when they become a shadow, they will also continue to summon units, so that's a nice way to increase the amount of shadows you have, basically for free. For today's build, I replaced Soul Punch with Gloom because it's a great way to increase your survivability since the ability slows enemies and also gives you some more lifesteal. Now moving to the Archon Shards, what I recommend is at least 1 yellow shard for casting speed because all his abilities are kind of slow in terms of casting, especially his fourth abilities. So if you want to play Nekros the best way possible, use at least 1 yellow shard. Then I also recommend adding some more armor by using blue shards because his base armor is quite low. And finally, you can go for more max energy like I did, or more duration if you want to make your shadows last longer and gloom cost less. And these are the mods we're going to use for today's build. I'm running Enemy Radar in my aura slot, but you can use any other aura mod you want. Power Gist in my Exile slot, Umbral Vitality for more HP, Umbral Intensify for more patient, Stretch for more range, Prime Continuity for more ability duration, Adaptation for more damage resistance, Equilibrium, the way Health Orbs will also give me energy and vice versa, the Spoil, this way Desecrate no longer uses energy but it uses HP instead, Shield of Shadows to redirect 60% of the damage I take to my shadows if they are within 50 meters, and in my Arcane slots I'm running Most Augmented for more patient on kill, and Arcane Blessing for more HP on health pickup. This way I can reach 2000 HP, and my power strength can go all the way up to 230%. It's also really easy to grab health orbs with Nekros because Desecrate almost always summons one of these, so stacking Arcane Blessing and also making use of Equilibrium is really easy. Additionally, through Shield of Shadows we also gain some damage redirection, and that goes up to 10% with this amount of power strength, and it goes all the way up to 13% with Molt Augmented fully stacked up. And if we have all 7 shadows active and within 72.5 meters, we have the maximum damage redirection of 90%. And between Shield of Shadows, Adaptation and also Gloom, we have a lot of survivability, and our shadows will also draw some fire, so it's really easy to survive with this build, especially if you're playing in a group. The weapons I selected are the Storm Prime. These are the evolutions I went for, and of course this is the build I'm using. I made a full video on the Storm Prime if you want a complete guide and see how powerful this weapon can be. Latum, which is really good against Acolytes and any kind of enemy that really needs a lot of damage to be taken care of, and these are the mods I am currently using. And finally, my melee of choice is the Harmony because it only has slash, puncture and electricity in this case. And additionally, sides have guaranteed slash procs on heavy attacks, so this weapon is perfect for Nekros. This is the build I'm currently using, and it's really good in any kind of mission. I'm using Madurai as my focus tree for the usual 40% more power strength and 50% more casting speed, which on Nekros is just a godsend, and my companion of choice this time around is the Kesakrubo. And you can either go for Tandem Bond for more melee damage for your companion, or Resourceful Retriever, which is I think the best choice, to have 18% chance to double your resource pickups. And this is the build I have on the Kesa Claws. And that is pretty much the build. Let's now see it in action. Of course, if you are going to play in any mission, you want your Desecrate and your Gloom active all the time, and you want to cast Terrify once in a while to armor shape enemies, the way they are easier to deal with. And the weapon you want to use most of the time is gonna be your melee, the way you can apply a lot of slash procs, and enemies will be divided in multiple pieces, and you can desecrate all those pieces for additional loot, which is really good. Be careful if you have heat on your weapon, because heat will basically disintegrate any enemy the moment it dies, so no body parts from there. You only get one loot roll, but I really like this Shroom Prime, so I'm just going to use it. And finally, if you have to kill something really fast, you can just swap to your Latum, and it will take care of pretty much anything in a few seconds. So yeah, Latum really good for mostly single target enemies, but it's just a solid weapon overall, and I think you should always have a great secondary on you, because yeah, those pesky acolytes sometimes get used. So yeah, once again, activate all your abilities, terrify enemies, and then just start attacking with your melee. That will be enough to, well, kill everything, because those slash procs are crazy powerful, and they spread around thanks to melee influence. After you've killed at least 7 enemies, then you want to get your Madurai buffs and cast your Shield of Shadows. That way you gain that amazing 90% Shield of Shadows buff, which redirects the damage you take to your shadows. So yeah, it's really good. And if your shadows are about to die, just recast your fort ability and they will go back to full HP. That's why we have a lot of energy stuff on ourselves, like Equilibrium, because it does become a bit tricky to keep all of them active, especially when they are under heavy fire. And if you want to use any other weapon that has slash on it, it's probably better. I just like these ones a lot, so you do you. I don't really think having more body parts is that important anymore. Especially because if you're farming something, Nekros won't be the only loot frame, you will probably see some Korras around. And that is pretty much Nekros Prime build. I will show more in the showcase because, yeah, in the Simulacrum it doesn't really look like that much, but surviving as Nekros with this build is really easy, and you'll be able to kill anything with your weapons, so yeah, pretty good overall. I will now leave you guys to the showcase where I test this build in a 10-minute survival in Steel Path against some greener enemies. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Have a terrifying rest of the day, and bye-bye.
I'm sending life support capsules your way.
Blame it on me. You're just too scared to be lonely. No one's safe from the reaper. Not a saint nor a sinner. Rage under my skin, slowly descending to madness. Let it spread like a virus. Be a friend with the violence. There's blood on my hand. Somebody save me from myself. I'm off of the meds and it might get hideous. Why so serious? Run for your life cause it might get hideous. Why so serious? Fall asleep with the sirens out. There's blood on my hand. Somebody save me from myself. I'm off of the meds and it might get hideous. Why so serious? Run for your life cause it might get hideous. Why so serious? sure you want to until you can feel back through. You don't know where I've been, what's going on inside, where the monsters like to come alive, come alive. Do you really wanna know me? I'm really not that cozy. It's up to you, so you decide, you decide. Would you love me at my worst, till the coffins in the dirt try to break me like a curse? You know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd. I like dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion, but could you love a haunted, haunted house? Or could you love me now? A haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. A haunted, haunted house. If you're just looking out, a haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. Broken windows and a warning scribbled on my wall saying that you better turn around. Wouldn't be the first to try to burn me down. You're rude, you do. Would you love me at my worst, till the coffins in the dirt try to break me like a curse? You know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd. I like dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion, but could you love a haunted, haunted house? Or could you love me now? A haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. A haunted, haunted house. If you're just looking out, a haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. Could you love a haunted, haunted house? Or could you love me now? A haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. A haunted, haunted house. If you're just looking out, a haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. Words till the coffins in the dark. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion. You made a mistake, underestimating what you've taken on. I'm out of the cage, 'cause you opened the door. You're as innocent as gone. 'Cause if you're falling for me, just be one. 'Cause I don't think you're ready for it. I'm not the one to mess around. You're ready for it. Too many people done wrong. You best believe that time's up. I'm a murderer. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control. Take me in slow, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you